I'm Amelia Bishop, and today I'm speaking with Bob Devine, who is our political and economic strategist. Hello, Bob.
Good afternoon, Amelia.
Well, thank you for joining me in this video. They're meant to be informative and helpful for anybody that is interested in what's happening with Brexit. So I think our question for today is: if we leave the EU without a trade deal, in your opinion, what do you think the effects would be on sterling and interest rates?
Well, at the moment, it's already been talked about in the market. The sterling would probably take an immediate hit to around 120 against the dollar. If it were to fall any further than that, caused by European and other international investors selling sterling assets, then that could prompt the Bank of England to put up interest rates to protect the currency.
Similar to what we've seen recently in Argentina.
Yes.
Where they tried to do the same, but it didn't work, did it?
It usually doesn't work because the power of the market is greater than the power of the central bank. So actually putting up interest rates would probably not solve the situation.
Okay. Now you've likened this, or potentially likened this in some ways, to Black Wednesday and that situation that happened. When was that? 92?
Yes, Black Wednesday, 1992, when the UK exited the exchange rate mechanism, which was the precursor to the euro. This was a basket of currencies that was set up with an upper and lower limit, and sterling came under pressure because interest rates in Germany were much higher than interest rates in the UK.
Right.
And in order to try to keep the currency within the basket, the UK stuck up interest rates quite high before it actually crashed out. Eventually, a decision was made on that Wednesday evening to withdraw from the exchange rate mechanism, and so that's really why the UK didn't join the euro, because it was no longer part of that basket of currencies. But the effect of that was a very sharp fall in sterling, a rise in interest rates by the Bank of England. They rose to 15% very briefly to try to protect the currency.
I remember it well, actually, from the mortgage perspective at that time, when mortgage rates were up around 16%.
Yeah, there was a lot of selling. European investors sold sterling assets, and I saw quite a lot of that. So
okay, so totally different scenario back in 92.
Oh yeah.
But it is thought in some ways that the shock could be similar if we leave the EU without a deal.
Well, it's the only sort of example we've got of something similar.
I mean, that would be, I mean, that's a very extreme situation to be in, isn't it?
Well, crashing out of the exchange rate mechanism and crashing out of the European Union as such is similar. So it's the only comparison we've got in a way.
Yeah, but it is good to have that comparison so that you have the information to be able to do the analysis of what the effect could be of a no-deal situation. When do you think we're likely to know whether we've got a trade deal or not with the EU?
By the end of the year.
Right, okay. Well, as in December?
Yeah, there's a summit in December. There's an EU meeting in October, and there's an EU meeting in December. And I think by December, you'll have to see a resolution of this situation or not.
Okay. And obviously, I mean, that includes the Irish border situation as well, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
The Irish, I mean, any transition period is basically contingent on there being an agreement on the Irish border.
Absolutely. Well, what a topic. We could probably talk about it for hours, couldn't we?
I think we've had too much about it for many months.
Well, yeah, for the last couple of years, really.
Talking it around the houses, yes.
Well, thank you very much. That was a really interesting
You're very welcome.
Snippet to understand what that looks like at the moment. Thank you.
Not at all. My pleasure.